He can't even control our borders. We can't expect that Justin Trudeau will keep any of these frantic, panicked, last-minute promises that he's making to reverse his earlier decisions that he's making now when his own MPs in the Liberal Party are trying to fire him in an election year.
Looks like Justin Trudeau is in panic mode. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Pierre coming out swinging yesterday in a press conference just after Justin Trudeau had his own press conference talking about immigration. And now immigration is on the table. We could talk about this as well as a number of other things. Today, we're going to be going over some of these clips in this video. Tonight in the live stream, however, I'm going to be going over the larger press conference and talk more commentary on that. So tune in, as well as I'm going to have Jeff Sanders on tonight, a real journalist talking about journalism and the state of journalism in Canada as it stands. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that notification bell is rung. You'll get a notification when I go live. But let's get into some of these clips. Jeff Pacitti on Twitter saying, wow, Pierre Poilievre just admitted many Liberals have contacted him, worried about losing their seats over carbon tax, and they would vote non-confidence against their own leader if it comes up. Yeah, because people are worried. The Liberals are worried about losing their seats. Here is the clip of him saying just that.
Yes.
Have you had any conversations with disaffected Liberal MPs about them starting to vote with the opposition or crossing the floor?
I have had conversations with numerous Liberal MPs. Some of them say that they're worried that the carbon tax will cost them their seats and that they want to vote against Trudeau's radical plan to quadruple the tax to 61 cents a litre. And some of them might even be willing to vote non-confidence in Justin Trudeau if that issue comes up again. Obviously, the next election is a referendum on Trudeau's 61 cents a litre carbon tax, and countless Liberal MPs have told our caucus that they're terrified they will be demolished by voters at election time if they vote to cripple our economy with that tax.
Absolutely. People are, the voters in Canada are saying no. And, Liberals will make promises of reducing the carbon tax to get votes in the here and now. We saw that in the maritime provinces during some by-elections. But no, Canadians largely would prefer not to be taxed anymore. That's really where we're at. And, well, with the Trudeau spending over the last 9 years, more than doubling our national debt that we took us 150 years to accrue, doubling it in 9 years. Yeah, they need to raise taxes in order to pay for that or cut some of their spending. Well, it looks like Canadians are looking forward to some cuts rather than, and we're talking about cuts to bureaucracy here, not cuts to people's benefits or cuts to, well, you see, cuts to your taxes. That would be great. That would be fantastic. But Trudeau coming out saying, no, our immigration policy is great. And it's always been great. Hasn't this worked out so well for us?
Canadians are justifiably proud of our immigration system. It has made our economy the envy of the world. It's how we've built strong, diverse communities. It's how we've demonstrated that differences can and must be a source of strength, not a source of weakness for communities and society.
Obviously making this a divisive issue. Oh, anyone who's a newcomer, that they're the bad guys. No, we're not blaming people who come to Canada. We're just saying we can't open the floodgates like Justin Trudeau has done during his tenure. We had great immigration before Trudeau came around. We just need to get back to that. In fact, Pierre Poilievre points this out to reporters as they question him about this.
As for the people who've come here as international students that Trudeau let in record-smashing numbers without housing, jobs, admissions letters to real educational institutions, or money to pay their bills, I don't know what's going to happen to them. He claims he's going to be kicking some of them out. He'll never do that, and he can't even control our borders. We can't expect that Justin Trudeau will keep any of these frantic, panicked, last-minute promises that he's making to reverse his earlier decisions that he's making now when his own MPs are in the Liberal Party are trying to fire him in an election year.
They want him gone. He is a burden now to anyone who's running in any riding as an MP with the Liberal ticket. It's almost like the provincial politics where so many provinces, they're ditching the name Liberal. Even in British Columbia, they tried to ditch the name Liberal and to BC United, and then just dropped out of the race entirely. We just had an election in British Columbia. Nobody wanted to vote for anyone under the Liberal banner. In fact, they just dropped out entirely. That's the end of that. But what about immigration? Well, immigration has been a huge topic in Canada, well, especially with independent reporters. Not much in Parliament Hill until recently. Pierre Poilievre obviously addressing this. But, Trudeau trying to, backpedal, change a bit of his policy, not really do much to affect real change, but at least try to make it look like he's doing something. Although Elon Musk even pointing out on Twitter by retweeting this or quote tweeting this, saying wow to Data Hazard's tweet here, showing that just under Justin Trudeau's open border policy, Canada went from 24% foreign born to 34% in just a few years. It's insane. And of course, they're worried about this in the United States because this is what Kamala Harris wants to do to America. And obviously, they don't want the same thing happening to America. What Justin Trudeau has been doing in Canada, look at this line. It is just absolutely mind-boggling that this somehow Trudeau is trying to equate this with how immigration has been through the entirety of our nation's history. This is not normal for Canada, and this is not sustainable. We can't continue to do this. And while Liberal MPs are speaking out about it, or at least they're doing it internally, well, sometimes these things leak. Jeff Ballingall he found this leaked letter from disgruntled MPs whose author accidentally left their name on it. Oopsie poopsie. But this is the Code Red petition. This is how bad it's gotten for the Liberal MPs, that it's now Code Red. Liberal Party of Canada and National Liberal Caucus making a petition amongst Liberals inside, internally to the Liberal Party, saying we need to oust this guy. We got to get rid of him because none of us will be able to hold a seat in the future because that is not a winning ticket. They just cannot win the election. I say, Trudeau, stay in. Let's get rid of all the Liberals. Let's get rid of as many as possible. Let's have some other party be the official opposition against the Conservatives when they get in, because that is the inevitability when they do get in. And when they get in, we want to see some justice for what's going on, not this fake justice that the Liberal MPs are touting. Here's Michael Coteau. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly, but here he is, another one saying Pierre Poilievre just needs to get a security clearance.
Pierre Poilievre says it's time to get serious with foreign interference, and in fact, I agree. I think all MPs in the House of Commons would agree with that. But unlike all other MPs, he actually has the ability to go through a security clearance and get that high-level briefing. So the big question is, why has every single leader in every single party gone through that security clearance except him? So my advice to Pierre Poilievre.
Well, you asked the question, so I'll oblige. This is great. I just made a short about this just the other day, talking about this specifically, because this is a great one. Here's a story of a little bit of a life hack. Everybody on the internet loves life hacks. NCOP, which is the legislation to keep mouths shut. How to keep yourself out of jail if you're Justin Trudeau. Here we go.
Do you like life hacks? I know you do.
Here's a fun life hack. If you think you might be investigated for foreign interference in the future, put together a piece of legislation that will grant anyone in the government access to that information. But then put in a clause that says anyone who gets access to this information is sworn to secrecy for the rest of their lives. for the rest of their lives. This is the real situation. Justin Trudeau put together NCOP to bind anybody to secrecy. They can have access to this information about MPs that have been involved in foreign interference. Yeah, sure. But then you're sworn to secrecy, and there's even the punishment of up to 14 years in prison for just spilling the beans. So yeah, all these MPs that have signed on to it, yeah, now they can get access to information, and only the information that Trudeau is going to allow them to see. But any information that is surrounding foreign interference will forever be secret. Well, this is why Pierre Poilievre is not getting clearance in the NCOP. It's because he wants to actually have transparency when Trudeau's government is gone. This is why they're in frantic panic mode, and they keep going to social media. I'll leave a link in the description down below to the Twitter link for this. You can rip the video all you want. Take that video, and anytime you see an MP posting that Pierre Poilievre needs to get his security clearance, just post that video right under it. Absolutely no problem. Rip the video, take it and use it all you want. Wyatt Claypool also talking about this, saying, this is just sewer level political discourse. So who are the 11 MPs involved in foreign interference? Oh, well, Pierre hasn't gotten clearance yet, so to see the information. What's up with that? Well, we know what's up with that. One, it's an irrelevant red herring. Two, getting the clearance prevents you from ever saying anything on the issue or even confirming information that becomes known to the public. So even if there's a leak, even if CSIS comes forward and says, yeah, this is what we heard, you then cannot even confirm it, or you might go to jail for 14 years. This is insane. The Liberals know the majority, if not all the 11 MPs are theirs. They're Liberal MPs, and they're hoping you are dumb enough to make the issue about Pierre Poilievre. And Pierre Poilievre has come out and said, hey, if there are any MPs in my caucus or in the Conservative Party, it turns out have been CSIS thinks have been part of this interference, they're gone immediately. And that's the right position to take. And you know what, here's another right position to take. Here's Tom Mulcair, the former former leader of the NDP and former official opposition leader, talking about this and how it's a trap.
And the main job of the leader of the opposition is to hold the government to account. I agree completely with Poilievre's decision not to take the bait. Trudeau's been trying for a year and a half to restrain what Pierre Poilievre can do by trying to say, come and get this private briefing, and oh, by the way, then you'll be held to an official secret and you won't be able to talk about this anymore. Trudeau doesn't want to talk about the fact that there were known cases, and they're coming out clearly, where the Liberals sat on information, refused to issue warrants and the like with regard to Liberals. So they're trying to distract and say, oh, look at this guy Poilievre. He doesn't even want to know the names of the people. And look at all the conditional wording that Trudeau uses. It's to go back to the 50s in the United States, it's McCarthyism. It's the enemy within. We've got these people and they don't even want to know about it. This is simply not worthy of Canadian politics. I've never seen.
Oh no, yeah, sorry. Things have changed a lot, Mr. Tom Mulcair, since you left politics. You'd be surprised what is worthy of Canadian politics. And I'd love to hear your comments on what is worthy of Canadian politics in the comment section down below, as well as tonight in the live stream. I'd love to have you in the chat, the side chat, as we discuss these issues as well as journalism as a whole, because of course journalism is this nebulous term, I guess, now, because anybody could be a journalist. Most are just opinions. I mean, what I do here is opinion. Don't mistake what I do for journalism. But tonight, Jeff Sanders will be joining me, a real journalist who does real journalism, and we're going to be talking about the ethics of how journalism has worked in Canada over the past few years, and what it should be, and what perhaps we can get back to. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. And we'll see you tonight. Keep on trucking.